Hi, it's Wednesday, or hump day, which can mean, well, it is the middle of the week. What's the best way to get over the middle of the week? Hope you're all having a great week so far. It is for the most part. Yesterday I was so fucking tired. I barely slept. I just couldn't fucking sleep. So yesterday, by the end of the day, I was grumpy and a zombie, and I just wanted to be home. But I did get some decent sleep last night. I'm still kind of from it, but I'll be fine. Woke up and my puppy was here. I was like, oh, hi. So he's in bed. He's got to work tonight yet, and Calf's got to work today. Boo. And but he'll be home tonight, which will be wonderful. I need snuggles. I got used to him being here on Tuesday. Now it's gonna be Wednesday. It's just the whole moving thing needs to hurry up, so then I don't have to. He's at home and I can snuggle him. I do like Mark Carney from Canada. One, he's smart. Holy shit. Two, you can read him. Like, his face wasn't hiding nothing in that meeting at the White House with Trump. That was great. You could see Mark Carney's face go from, what the fuck did you just say, to shut the fuck up, to holy fuck, this man is stupid. Like, you could just watch it. It was wonderful. And then, basically, Canada's not for sale. Go away. And then the outside Toronto Star reporter from the Toronto Star was like, so I was watching your face throughout this meeting, and what were you thinking? And she kind of stops, smiles, goes, I'm just glad you couldn't tell what I was thinking. Like, oh girl, we could. Same face that 70% of the population in this country is doing, is going, huh? And then to have them introduce, I don't understand what's going on right now. I mean, I don't think any of us do, because this is, fuck this. Because actually, I was watching the Humanist Report, and he covered a historian, a political historian, who compared what Trump's doing to Putin and Erdogan and Orban, the current dictators that came to power in the last 25 years. And she's, because they were elected democratically to kind of uphold the system till it transitioned to their fascist bullshit. They move slow. Just, because everything's stable, let's just keep it going. So people just quietly accept the fascism. What she said is that this, our short bus Fuhrer, this is going to be the end of them, is they're acting more like a coup. They just kind of came in and, because in a coup, you've already, everything's unstable now anyway. You've ruined all stability. You've ruined all that shit. Just rip the Band-Aid off. Where, like I said, democratically elected, you take it slow, so you don't fuck anything up. Of course, these guys aren't that smart, so they're ripping the Band-Aid off, so we can just go right into fascism. I mean, I suppose Trump knows he's got limited time. I wish he'd hurry up, because I keep being disappointed every morning and not seeing that news. That'd be wonderful. Of course, then we'd have Vance, which I don't know how much better he'd be, or worse, or maybe less. He might be less competent, though. That could be a possibility. And people less loyal to him, and then you'd see a complete splintering of MAGA, which would become funny as shit. Anyway. Crap, where I was going. I just don't understand. Oh, anyway, moving on to, told you, fall floof this morning. the fascism goes slowly. Well, that might be how we get through this faster than most times. Like most countries, once the dictator has full power, then he starts pulling his moves. Well, Putin pulled his move. Luckily enough, there wasn't, that moment wasn't anything else to spark it. Because usually tensions around the world, if, whatever. It wasn't a big enough war to really distract the United States. The United States wasn't getting into shit, wasn't getting into it too much. And the Israel thing is just, well, that's Tuesday. Well, you create a country out of another country, and then that country that got created starts being aggressive to the other country, you're going to end up with what's going on. Thank you, white people of the 40s. I mean, I understand the sentiment, but maybe should have, I don't know, consulted. Of course, we'd already cut the Middle East up after World War I. It had no regard for anything, so why would we give a shit in World War II? That was only 30 years later. So probably some of the same fucking people did it. So, but because Trump, and also because of Schuertbus-Fuhrer and his let's just cause absolute fucking chaos and isolationism, a couple other countries have been at each other's throats, but not really fighting for decades. They're not fighting. India and Pakistan, and this should be particularly worrying. Not so much for the rest of the world, but for the people who live there, because they're both nuclear powers. This has always been a fear, that they would end up in an all-out war. It isn't there yet, but they'd end up in an all-out war. And one of the two countries would be like, I'm just going to end it. And then render both that part of the continent completely unlivable for millennia. Sounds like a great plan to just ignore it, because sure, that's what Schuertbus-Fuhrer did after his meeting that, and then the soccer thing. I honestly think the World Cup should just say, you know what, Toronto looks like a great place to do this, because how many of these soccer clubs or football clubs, say football clubs, how many of these football clubs are going to be absolutely terrified to come here if they get into the World Cup? Because of their athletes are brown. And what if one of them said something mean about the president? They might get arrested. So, I honestly think the World Cup should pull out and go, we're going to do Toronto, because then, same thing. Of course, then Schuertbus-Fuhrer would probably have a temper tantrum and ban anybody from going into Canada and ban the airing of the entire thing. I mean, he would retaliate. He absolutely would. That would not go unnoticed, because it'd be somebody. It seems to be sports. That he gets most worked up about, because he's also like, telling the soccer committee in the U.S. that's headed by Giuliani's son. I'm just, I've known him for years. He's great. And then hear Chris then say, make sure everybody knows I'm a good golfer. And then having Kristi Noem, when she first, because this whole panel is interesting for the World Cup thing, sit there and go, you're the best president ever, and this thing's going to be the best sporting event that's ever happened on our soil, because you're the best president ever. I'm like, wow, his cock must taste like honey to you. I'm betting it tastes like mold and battery acid, but that's me. Well, I've rambled enough, and it's been kind of like I said, kind of floofy today. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Have a great Wednesday, and love you all.